frustrating. The American people are sick and tired of the Clinton White House or Hillary Clinton. She didn't get prosecuted even though she had those classified emails on her server. And look, I give kudos to Judicial Watch. They've been tough. They've stayed on this, and that's what we have to do in this town. If these people just don't lie down, they don't go away. You have to fight them every single step of the way. It's what you have to do. And 6 years, the way I understand it, I just saw Tom Fitton here in the Fox studio, and he said that she should be deposed in about 75 days, within 75 days. And look, this has been going on since 2012. I mean, it's been a while.
Interesting. Okay, thank you for that. Now, you filed your own suit against the Washington Post, which was a daily newspaper now owned by the world's richest man as a kind of vanity publication. Why are you suing them? On what grounds?
Well, it's funny you say that, right? Like, this is the world's richest man. I call it his glamour project. He wants to promote his company here in the nation's capital. I get that. But it's not okay to slander and defame me. And if you may remember, when the Russia hoax was
darkness of Obamagate.
I'm going to stop it right here.
4 years. Congressman, great to have you with us. What more can you tell us about your investigation?
I just wanted you to hear the opinion about Hillary Clinton having to should be in prison, and I agree with it. And I guess the majority of the American people do agree with the same thing. This lady a long time ago should be in prison. Okay, let me just. Okay, I already got it set up. Before I start, good morning to all my fellow Americans, especially those of the DAV for which I am a member, Chapter 11, and veterans of all organizations. And never forget those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in order to keep our country free. And don't forget the state of Florida to vote for Maria Elvira Salazar for Congress. She'll put a stop to the evilness of these communists that have sequestered and taken over the Democrat Party. Communists and terrorists. So, okay. Well, the other thing I just wanted to say is, a long time ago, Hillary Clinton should have been in prison. I mean, what kind of power do they attract, or what kind of power, or from where, or who was financing that? Well, they robbed so much money, so who knows? They're just filthy rich, and they got enough money to push that power upon those who are against them. Plus, they're getting financed. These not only that, they're supporting and financing these acts of terror in the United States, where the windows are broken, police cars on fire, buildings on fire, killing people. And then they say it's just peaceful. They're peaceful rioters. It's incredible. It's incredible what we're seeing. But let's see what happens. I hope Trump wins, and I hope this can be stopped immediately. Sometimes I believe we're so far gone that I don't know. I don't know if we're ever going to get this stopped. I hope. Trump is doing a great job. He might. God bless him, and I hope he does. I want to go to one last video. Today I'm going to make it real short. This last video, where a reporter accusing Trump of lying. What gall? These people have some gall. I mean, they have the gall to call our president a liar when the ones who are doing all the lies are the Democrats. But you know what's funny about this? There's people that believe these leaders. They support a leader like Joe Biden, who doesn't even know where he's at. It's not that I'm suffering from the same thing. Sometimes I go blank, and I forgot what I want to say, or I can't remember what I want to say, or words won't come out of, So it's not. That's very sad to see a person in that situation. But the thing is not that. It's that the man is running for president. He's going to be in charge of us when he's not even able to be in charge of asylum, for the mentally ill, and he's one of them. He's a candidate for that. He's a candidate for that, not for president, a candidate to be part of a psychiatric ward. But people keep believing the nonsense coming from the other Democrats saying that he's the man, that he's excellent, that he's a given gift from heaven. So they keep lying through their teeth. They're the ones who are doing the lying. Even the media, these leftist media. I'm gonna go with this, like I said, with this last video, and I'm gonna finish with that. So before I leave, Donald Trump, I always pray for you and your family, that God protect you, God bless you always. The same with Mike Pence and his family. And stand with God and Israel eternally. And God bless our country eternally. Another thing, Donald Trump, don't forget, like we did with Venezuela, let's do with Cuba. Let's do the same thing with Cuba. The communists have been there destroying the economy and sending out their spies in order to destroy other democracies, including the United States. For over 61 years, these people are terrible. They have to be stopped. We can do the same thing like we did with Venezuela. Let's make Jose Daniel Well, like I was saying before the video froze on me, let's make Jose Daniel Garcia temporary president of Cuba until it's free again. Once it's free, we could go to free elections without communism and Islamic terrorism. None of that, or fascism. None of those parties that will attempt to destroy or attempt against the nation and destroy the Constitution and the democracy, they shouldn't be allowed. Not in Cuba and not in the United States. It doesn't make sense that we allow people to occupy a position where they can destroy us. So, we have to be smarter and think about it. It doesn't make sense allowing this. So I'm leaving with this last video, like I said. God bless you all, and I'll see you tomorrow, if God permits. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. President. Why did you lie to the American people, and why should we trust what you have to say now? Thank you, Mr. President. Why did you lie to the American people, and why should we trust what you have to say
That's
now?
a terrible question, and the phraseology, I didn't lie. What I said is we have to be calm, we can't be panicked. I knew that the tapes, these were a series of phone calls that we had, mostly phone calls. And Bob Woodward is somebody that I respect just from hearing the name for many, many years, not knowing too much about his work, not caring about his work, but I thought it would be interesting to talk to him for a period of calls. So we did that. I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't even know if the book is good or bad. But certainly if he thought that was a bad statement, he would have reported it because he thinks that you don't want to have anybody that is going to suffer medically because of some fact. And he didn't report it because he didn't think it was bad. Nobody thought it was bad. Wait a minute. And your question, the way you phrase that is such a disgrace. It's a disgrace to ABC Television Network. It's a disgrace to your employer. And that's the answer. You ready? Because I love. Of course I did. Of course I did. No.
Than the flu, and you went out and told the American public that this was just like the flu. I mean, you told
We've had
everyone one
flu
thing, you
years.
told everybody else something else.
And 5 times, right? 5 times. You ever hear the expression 5 times? We've had flu years where we lost 100,000 people. The flu is a very serious problem for this country also. And we've been losing them. Scott, what kind of a number have we lost over the years with flus? Into the hundreds of thousands.
Well, I mean, the last 5 years have been something like 35 to 80,000 per year, every year, even with antiviral drugs.
Flu is a very serious problem also. But just so you know,
This is worse than the most deadlier than the most strenuous flu.
okay,
And then you went out and said it's just like the flu.
what I went out and said is very simple. Listen, what I went out and said is very simple. I want to show a level of confidence, and I want to show strength as a leader, and I want to show obviously, outwardly, I said it's a very serious problem. And it's always a serious problem. That doesn't mean I'm going to jump up and down in the air and start saying people are going to die, people are going to die. No.